Hi guys, welcome back, and I hope you all are having a great start to the week, right? Kindly ignore my outfit and my hair because I'm just back from the gym and I want to do this video before it gets delayed infinitely. So today we're going to be talking about Sejal class. I was supposed to do a video of this last week, but then like I was waiting for the con call, and I think it's been now more than a week that the result has been out, and it doesn't look like the management may not do probably con call because it's been a week since the result has been out. So I thought might as well just do the video. So in this video, we will talk about Sejal class, okay? And the second thing, what we're also going to do is we're going to understand how to track a business once you have finished studying it. Because if you guys remember, I have covered Sejal class in the last quarter, that is Q1 of FY26, when the opportunity came in my radar, right? I've done a video of it. So most of y'all would have understood, most of y'all would have also had an experience as to you read a business model, you understand कि like अरे इसमें ऐसा opportunity है. But after that, how do you continue to track it? We will use the example of Sejal class, and we will continue to I will continue to explain in this video. But anyways, if you guys by the way want to understand Sejal class in depth, I have done a video already, like I mentioned. I will put the link in the description box below. Make sure you check it because उस video में I have explained everything. मतलब आपका बिजनेस मॉडल इन डेप्थ कैसे यहाँ पे एक अपॉर्चुनिटी आया है, प्रोडक्ट मिक्स कैसा चेंज हो रहा है, एंड द थर्ड थिंग इज व्हाट आर द रिस्क इन्वॉल्व ऑल्सो. मैंने सारा चीज, इट्स अ वेरी स्मॉल वीडियो, 15 मिनट्स का वीडियो है, आप देख लेना, ठीक है. सो राइट नाउ फर्स्ट लेट्स अंडरस्टैंड, इफ यू आर अ न्यू पर्सन ओवर हियर watching this video for the first time, let us understand the business model in a very short and sweet manner. Okay, so what does exactly Sejal glass do? Sejal glass, as the name itself tell, glass बनाता है, ठीक है. It's as simple as that. ये glass का manufacturing करते हैं, but what kind of glass? Because when we talk about glasses, there are many types of glasses, right? आपका alcohol का bottle होता है, आपका perfume का bottle होता है, right? यहाँ पे these people make architectural glasses. When we talk about architectural glasses, आपका जो घर में लगता है in on the windows, sometimes आपका glass का door रहता है, whatever the glasses that is used in a real estate, in a construction, in a construction companies, यहाँ पे indoor and outdoor. Sometimes you can use glasses for indoor, जैसे आपका indoor door, आपका maybe for design purposes, aesthetic purposes, and sometimes for outdoor projects. When I tell outdoor projects, you might have seen certain times these big commercial buildings. आपका it could be a clothing shop, या वरना आपका footwear shop, या आपका बड़े बड़े tech का building होता है, which पूरा का पूरा outside का facade is made with पूरा का पूरा glass से बना होता है. So this is exactly what they do. Very simple सा business model है. Okay, यहाँ पे उनका अगर आप देखते हो एक बहुत बड़ा, if you look at it, before I go to the product mix change and all, these people have इनका खुद का अगर आप देखते हो 2 manufacturing plant है, one in Gujarat and the other one in UAE, which is in Ras Al Khaimah UAE में उनका एक manufacturing plant है. These are the 2 manufacturing plant that they have. Now what had happened over here, you would have seen that यहाँ पे एक what was the trigger over here for Sejal glass, right? If you remember, in Q1 of FY26, for the first time the management came and they told they were very bullish with respect to the guidance that they were giving. Okay, उन्होंने बोला कि लाइक भाई मैं 400 करोड़ का रेवेन्यू करने वाला हूँ इन दिस ईयर FY25-26. नाउ व्हेन आई टेक 400 करोड़ का रेवेन्यू कंपेयर टू लास्ट ईयर्स रेवेन्यू, दैट इज 24-25, इफ आई हैव टू कंपेयर, दैट इज अ 60% का ग्रोथ इंजन दैट इज देयर. सो हाउ व्हाई वर दे सो बुलिश कि लाइक मैं 60% का ग्रोथ करने वाला हूँ? लाइक हाउ वर दे सो बुलिश? देयर वर अ कपल ऑफ फैक्टर्स ओवर हियर. ओके, फर्स्ट थिंग ओवर हियर इज, लाइक आई टोल्ड यू, द मैन्युफैक्चरिंग फैसिलिटी. ओके, उनका अगर आप देखते हो इन द ईयर until the year 2022, they were a pure domestic oriented business. In 2022 क्या हुआ? They put up this plant in Ras Al Khaimah UAE, right? Then they went from 100% domestic oriented business to they went to a more export oriented business. ठीक है? So 75% export से आते हैं, 25% domestic से आते हैं. This was one big change that happened. And यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा था? पहले in this export business they were making like normal glasses, not high value high margin product. There is something called as facade glasses, या facade, however you call it, facade, I think that's how you pronounce it. So these people started making those glasses which are high value products. So इसके वजह से एक product mix आने लगा, ठीक है. This is one thing, this was a huge change. And the second thing is they did an acquisition, ठीक है. उन्होंने Glastic बोल के कंपनी को acquire किया था, which had a plant in Taloja and Erode, which is in Maharashtra and Tamil Nadu respectively. Now इसके वजह से भी उनको वो they will get that extra pump in revenue. And the third thing is, when we talk about it, यहाँ पे demand, the demand is very fantastic, because अगर आप real estate का demand देखते हो in India versus if you look also in the UAE, which is where 75% of उनका export oriented business है, the demand is really really great. So all of the three things that is there was supporting their business. Now अभी उनका to achieve this 400 crore in revenue, which is 60% का growth, you need a capex also, right, to happen. But they didn't have to do any capex because the existing capacity that is there, unka khud ka plant that is there, which is in Silvassa, in Gujarat and in UAE, that is operating roughly at 50 to 55% capacity. And the acquisition उन्होंने किया Glasstec का, which is in Tamil Nadu and Maharashtra में उनको 2 plant मिला, that was roughly operating at 30 to 35%. So आगे जाके ये 400 crore करने के लिए there was no दिक्कत, that is another thing. Okay, so now we understood in Q1 of FY26 we saw कि like भाई ये करना चाहिए, like we got an idea कि like this is the business, this is the opportunity that is it, because the guidance is strong, demand is strong, product mix change होने वाला है, and the demand is also great, which is exactly according to the investment checklist workshop. If you see, right, in the investment checklist workshop, remember the metrics that are there, tuck 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 tuck. Now can it go in your head? And we see that it clears literally every single thing in the investment checklist workshop ka list. If you haven't already got it, make sure you get it. The link is in the description box below. Okay, now comes Q2. What should you check? The first thing in Q2 you should check is jo bola tha 400 crore guidance, are they inching up to it or not? Because if you have told 400 crores in revenue, and this is a kind of industry where H2 is better than H1, so probably 40 to 45% of the sale happens in H1, and the rest 50 to 55% of the sales happen in H2. So if you're targeting 400 crore by the end of the year, then you should roughly do 160 to 200 crore by H1. This is the first thing you have to check in Q2 ka result, right? And if you see Q2, that is H1 of FY26, the company has done 182 crores in revenue. So the first thing first, you have to see if the management is walking the talk, right? And if the guidance is achieved or not, right? So this one thing that is there, tick mark, right? Absolutely great, walking the talk. Even if you look on a Q2 on Q2 basis, you see the pace of growth is maintained. The sales grew by around 60, 69, almost 70% se grow hua. Similarly, agar aap half yearly mein dekhte ho, the sales growth was around 60%. The second thing what we have to see is the product mix change, right? Now how do you know कि like यहाँ पे product mix change has been happening or not if the company is not doing con call? Like I told you, उनका UAE का plant में, right, these people earlier they were doing normal commoditized glass. अभी यहाँ पे these people are focusing on making high value products. Now अगर आप high value products बना रहे हो, right, then your PAT margin that is there and आपका EBITDA margin that is there, that should stand a chance to improve at least by a little bit basis points at least, right? That is one thing to look for. That is when you know that the product mix that is there is going in the right direction. Remember in the investment checklist workshop that we told, product mix change happening for the good and product mix change happening for the bad. If the product mix change is happening for the good, then the margins at least has to improve over here little bit slightly. Now when we see again, what is a reflection of this? You have to see EBITDA and PAT margin, and the second is operating leverage. अगर आप operating leverage देखते हो यहाँ पे बहुत 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 तगड़ा operating leverage मिला है. If you look on a year on year basis, you see that the net profit that is there, it is up literally, you can see almost 3x say the profit has been up. And again if you look at it on a half yearly basis, if you see the net profit is also up again 3x. So operating leverage is immense. Agar मैं EBITDA margin का बारे में बात करूँ, EBITDA margin has been up from 14 to 17% in that range. So कि like the second point that is there, the product mix that is there, it is also happening. Okay, the third thing we'll have to look for is if we have to see in the commentary that is there, if the demand is really great or they're feeling any setback. Now उनका press release से there is no negative connotation यहाँ पे मिल रहा है कि like if the demand has slowed down or not. In fact management has reassured कि like demand बहुत तगड़ा है and they're in line to achieve whatever they have told, right? So again that also gives you further क्या बोलते हैं, further confidence कि like management is willing to walk the talk even in H2 that is there. Okay, then यहाँ पे the only missing caveat over here is as we saw in Q1 of FY26, we saw that the order book was roughly around 160 to 170 crore. Okay, and यहाँ पे the order book increases every month या every quarter because the nature of the business model is such that आपका जो भी order मिलता है, you have to finish it within 3 months. And these people take order कि like भाई मेरा कितना capacity कितना मैं कर सकता हूँ per month, उतना ही मैं order book लूँगा. Since these people haven't done the con call, we do not know कि like order book चंगा मतलब क्या status है. This is one thing. But having said that, because the result has been absolutely great and there is no negative connotation, you must know कि like maybe everything is going well and great or not. Okay, then the only thing over here, like I told you, now that you see, right, कि like आप देख सकते हो from Q2 by tracking the model. In Q1 you understood the business model, you understood the risk, you understood the demand, you understood the valuation perspective and everything. In Q2 what did you see? You see like whatever they have been doing, whether they're walking the talk, is it in line or not? Again it is also matching amazing, everything is great. Now the only thing that we have to see is the valuation, right? If because remember in the growth versus speaker video that we did, the entire thing of whether you want to add a stock or continue to hold a stock, it comes down to which case it is in, case 1 or case 2. Now you would have seen from the Q1 ka time to Q2 ka right now, that is there, especially even after the result, the stock has re-rated a lot. I think it has been up by 50-60%, more than that also, I believe. It's been hitting circuit every now and then. But you shouldn't look at the stock price, look at it in terms of valuations perspective. Now earlier, if you remember, in Q1 of FY26 we were very conservative and we took like 5 to 6% pat margin we took, and we did the valuation calculation. And at that time it was a 60% ka growth engine available at 20 to 25 ka P. Now if you see, it is the same 60-70% ka growth engine, and if you take it, if you take the market cap that is there, right, it is somewhere around, क्या है इसका 1 year forward P, it is somewhere around 30 to 33 का P में आता है, the 1 year forward P. Okay, so now do you understand, the growth rate has gone up also over here. Earlier it was a 60% का growth engine available at 20 to 25 P. Now it is a 70% का growth engine available at 29 to 32 P, उसी range में आता है. The business that is there, it is still in that high growth low P engine. Now this has only happened because the EPS ka growth that is there, it has been growing at a way faster rate than that of your sales growth. Okay, and like I told you, whenever you're taking valuation, you be conservative. And this time you see, right, we took valuation ka calculation mein 5 to 6% pat margin. But if you see right now in Q2 itself, pat margin has almost is inching up to 7.7 हुआ था. So this is why you see, जितना उसका growth rate बढ़ रहा है, उसका EPS, since the EPS is growing at a way faster rate, uska valuation that is there, it is becoming still cheaper than what it was. Okay, so overall great set of numbers, great result, absolutely nothing to complain about. Even the, like I told you, it still falls in case 1 that is there. So and it looks like the 400 crore ka guidance that is there, it will be achieved. The only thing I will talk about is over the risk factor over here. We have seen it in last video that I did, I highlighted over here. Iska debt to equity jo hai, it is very high. Debt to equity was around 2.46, that is there, right? And we took Q4 ka balance sheet and we found out debt to equity is so much. And even right now also, if you see, debt to equity is more than 2, even if you take from half yearly basis also. But again, there is no clarity why iska debt to equity is high. I have only taken non-current liabilities. I haven't taken the working capital, all the thing, and taken only the non-current. Isse uska debt to equity itna bada hai. But having said that, it could also be because उन्होंने जो Glasstec का acquisition किया था, right, in this year, what had happened is इसका acquisition was done 50% was through debt. So I do not know if it is because of this the debt has surged so much or not. Okay, so this continues to be one of the things. But having said that, see, like I always tell यहाँ पे, market has no memory of the past, absolutely no memory. It is you and I as investors, as audience, we have memory of the past. We hold on to it. Market has no memory. वो सिर्फ अभी का देखता है, growth है, आगे का क्या है, आगे का आपका सब कुछ चंगा चल रहा है, there is no headwinds over here. Market will continue to reward it, because a lot of you all had problem with the corporate governance issue and everything, whatever has happened with Sejal Glass in the past. And Sejal Glass is a very 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 good example कि like आपने जो भी किया है in the past, right, market is willing to forget. आपका सात खून माफ कर देता है market, provided आप अपना पूरा का पूरा नक्शा बदल देते हो, which is आप पूरा का पूरा you get your growth back, you make sure you're executing properly, and you're giving confidence to the investors कि like आगे जाके भी अच्छा होने ही वाला है. The market is willing to forget the past and reward you with a higher valuation, provided you execute. So this is a time when a company goes from case 1 to case 2, as we discussed in growth versus P. So similarly over here, like I'm telling you, irrespective of whatever has happened, इसका corporate governance issue जो भी था, जो भी उन्होंने लफड़ा किया था, या whatever they have done, उसका debt to equity भी high है, right? You would see it is 2.46 and everything. In spite of that, see how market is rewarding. This goes to show you again and again, मैं जो बोल रही हूँ, growth is king. Understand growth क्यों है. And like I mentioned, यहाँ पे debt, there are several reasons it could be high. It could be because of the acquisition, right? That is one of my thing, but there is no clarity. इसलिए मैं उसका इतना, I'm not giving इतना spotlight. The last thing over here I would want to talk about is the net CFO that is there. The net CFO has turned positive, which is a good sign, because last time it was -5 crore, this time it is 17 crore, which is, I would would say is a good thing compared to the compare relatively a good thing if you check. So overall a great set of numbers. I would hope this company does con call just to understand a few things like order book kya hai, आपका जो capacity जो है because last time it was at 40 50 55 Indian capacity, or acquisition ka capacity was around 30 to 35. What is the capacity looking like right now? All of those things. I think a couple of things would like to get an answer. And also debt ka kya scene hai, this is also something I would like to get an answer. But overall, other than this absolutely stunning set of numbers, nothing to complain. Hopefully these people do a con call, maybe if not in Q2, maybe in Q3 they do. But great set of numbers. Okay, that's it guys about Sejal Glass, and I will see you in another video. Bye.